game week. I don't care what any of you say. It's game week. Yeah, is it Navy and Notre Dame, which I'm super excited about?
Dublin.
Is it San Jose State and USC? Yeah. UTEP Jacksonville State?
Come on.
Sign me up.
Let's go.
It's college football. I don't care if it was Bishop Sycamore versus Mary Margaret of the Blind and Excited.
That sounds like a great game, to be honest.
There'd be a documentary made.
I don't know if Mary's team can find the field, but we'll go over that later.
They did that.
Hey, football this weekend?
Yeah.
Your boys B-Day this weekend?
Yeah.
Does it get any better?
Yeah.
Come
No,
on.
look, I mean, you got any plans?
Plan to watch football.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. That's
what
all
I
I'm
plan
going to do.
too. All right, we got a ton to get to. We're really excited. We're live on X. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Let's get this bad boy started. We're starting with ACC predictions today because, like I said, college football starts this weekend. We're making the ACC predictions starting now. Aaron Rodgers will make his Jets debut Saturday against the Giants. And Sean O'Malley knocked out Aljamain Sterling to win the UFC bantamweight title. I'm Jake Crain, and welcome to Crain and Company. Now, this weekend, the beauty of college football is upon us once again, and that means it's prediction week here at Crain & Company. Now, we're going to predict a Power 5 conference each weekday, and today we will start with the ACC. Now, this year, don't forget, the ACC does not have divisions, and they've adopted the 3-5-5 scheduling format, which means each team has 3 annual rivals they will play every year, and the other 10 teams will be rotating on an every other year basis. And in my opinion, it's the best way to try and schedule fairly. There's no perfect way, but this is about as close as it's going to get. Now, after going through the schedule grid and putting together the puzzle pieces, my 2 representatives in the ACC championship game won't surprise you, but I do believe there will be some chaos at the end. Now, I have Clemson going through the regular season undefeated and matching up with 10-2 Florida State, who will lose to Clemson on the road in the regular season and week 1 to LSU. Now, I do believe in Cade Klubnik, and I love the offseason hire of offensive coordinator Garrett Riley. And getting the Noles at home during the regular season will make a huge difference. But the chaos comes in during the ACC championship game. I believe that Florida State will beat Clemson in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium to throw a wrench into the College Football Playoff Committee's decision when it comes to selecting the playoff teams. You're going to have to wait until Friday when I unveil who I believe makes the College Football Playoff. But depending on what happens around the country, the ACC could possibly be left out of the playoff under this scenario. Now, there's also another double-digit regular season game winner swimming around the ACC, in my opinion, and that's North Carolina. Don't be shocked to see them go 10-2. And there are a couple other sneaky teams that aren't getting much preseason love either. So without further ado, let's get to the predictions. It's go time. I'm tired of playing games.
It's go time, baby.
Gonna bring in former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine, Crain. Guys, no divisions in the ACC.
Yep.
Okay? I know we all looked through it, which, like I said, I love the scheduling format. But when you have no divisions, that can create some interesting scenarios at the end. The tiebreakers really come into effect a lot more than, oh, well, you won the Coastal. Oh, you won this division. Now it can get a little wonky at the end.
Yeah, it can. Bring yours up. I want to see it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring them up. Let's get into it. Here's what I got. Like I said, I got Clemson going 12-0 during the regular season.
12-0.
All right, I believe in the wide receiver group this year. You look at Antonio Williams, who balled out as a freshman. You look at Bo Collins. You look at Adam Randall. I like what they have at the tight end position. I think the offensive line is going to be good enough. And then you look at running back. You got Will Shipley, Haru the Great White Ninja. Okay, and then you have Phil Maffa, 2 backs that I really believe in. And then defensively, I'm not worried about Clemson on defense. I know they lost Breesy, but they're an SEC defense when it comes down to it. I do want to say this before we get too far. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. We're live on X right now. Go ahead and throw your questions in underneath the X Twitter post, whatever you want to call it. I'm not getting into that great debate.
Twitter.
And we'll answer those live as well. So I got Clemson, 12-0, 8-0 in the conference. I got FSU 10-2 overall, 7-1 in the conference. Their only ACC loss at Clemson. Then North Carolina, I got them going 10-2 in the regular season and they lose their last 2 ACC games.
Okay, so they lose to
At Clemson and at NC State.
I got it.
That's right, I said it. Then, now the way we did this was conference record usurps overall record. So like I got Louisville at 7-5, 6-2 in the conference ahead of Miami, 8-4, 5-3 in the conference. Okay, I've got NC State doing better than what people think. They got a lot of hype last year. I got them 8-4, 5-3 in the conference. And then Duke, Mike Elko, stacking good years on top of each other. 8-4 overall, 4-4 in the conference. Georgia Tech, 5-7 overall, 4-4 in the conference. Brent Key in his first year there. Kind of excited to see what they got going on. If Pyron can stay healthy, I think they're an interesting team. And then maybe one of my 2 biggest surprises, one good, one bad. Virginia Tech, 6-6, making a bowl game. I don't love the Brent Pry hire, but I look at the schedule. I think Grant Wells eventually is going to grow up Peter Pan. He's turned it over a lot, but we've seen his talent on display when he's cooking. I know they don't have a ton of weapons around him, but I got them 6-6, 3-5 in the conference. Then Syracuse making a bowl game, 6-6, 2-6 in the conference. Wake Forest taking a step back, 5-7, 2-6 in the conference. Boston College, Jeff Hafley, over that 5.5 win mark. Give me 6-6, 2-6 in the conference. And then probably my biggest negative surprise, Pitt. I don't believe in Jurkovich, man. I just don't. They lost a lot. 3-9 overall, 1-7 in the conference. And I'm sorry, Tony Elliott. Virginia, 2-10, 1-7 overall in the conference. And if anybody has any questions, okay, I got all the wins and losses written down in my little book of exploration and friendship. All right, in the ACC right here. So we can go back and look at it and really crunch the numbers. But guys, I'm not a chalk guy. I look at the bye weeks. I look at the short weeks. I like where I'm at right now.
I like it too. All right, bring mine up. I want chaos at the top of this.
God.
I want
David.
absolute chaos.
Some men
And
just
boys,
wanna
with
see
no
the world
divisions, there really could be. So I have Clemson going 10-2 and 7-1 in the conference. I have them losing to Notre Dame.
Okay.
All right. And on the road at Miami.
At home. You got them losing at home to Notre Dame.
Yes, but on the road at Miami.
Okay.
Florida State, I agree with you. I think they dropped the opener to LSU, and then they lose on the road to Clemson, and then North Carolina, the same thing. I have all 3 of these teams losing an out-of-conference game, and then one game within the conference. So North Carolina lose the opener to South Carolina, and then also on the road at Clemson. But North Carolina and Florida State don't play each other.
Yeah.
So that's where things get really weird. But they both play Clemson on the road. And I think they dropped that game, and you were talking about the tiebreakers. Gets really weird in the ACC. And in this scenario right here, I still have Florida State and Clemson playing for the conference championship. And if that happens, I agree with you. I'm going to side with you that Florida State would win a rematch, but they lose the regular season game on the road at Clemson. But like I said, the tiebreakers here, so the teams with the 2 best winning percentage play in the conference championship. In the case of a 2-team tie for second, the second best winning percentage, the first then moves to head-to-head competition. But
Which
like
they
I
don't
said,
play
in this
head-to-head.
period, they don't play
That's right.
head-to-head. So with the winner of that game, if there is no head-to-head competition, the next determinant is winning percentage against all common opponents. Then it moves to a win percentage against common opponents with the added caveat of order of finish within the conference, beginning with the highest seeded common opponents and moving downward in order of the standings. So it really gets convoluted.
At what
pretty
point do they
quickly.
Friday Night Lights and you just meet at a,
Just
at a
flip a
random
coin.
gas station?
Hey, there's a Waffle House across the street. Let's
Let's go.
flip a coin and really figure it out. So I have 7-5 with Louisville, same as you, and then 5-3. Miami 8-4, 5-3 within the conference, and then Syracuse, Pitt, NC State, Wake Forest, and Duke, I all have going bowling here, and Virginia Tech. So 7-5. Virginia Tech, what was interesting is their over-under win total for the season was 5.5. I have them overperforming that at 7-5 based on the schedule, but finishing 3-5 in the conference. Duke is one of the ones that's interesting to me because their schedule's so much tougher than last season. Mike Elko, I thought, really overperformed last year. I think he has Duke headed in the right direction on the football field, but the schedule's so much more difficult. I have them winning that final game. Who does Duke Duke play last? Hold on one second. That final game against Pitt at home to be bowl eligible. And then Wake Forest is another one of the ones that was so tough for me to
that was a tough
this
one.
year because they haven't missed a bowl game since Dave Clawson's first 2 years there. I think that was 2016, something like that. The schedule gets tougher for them as well, but I still have them going 6-6 and going bowling. And then the bottom of the division kind of plays out the same.
Did you have Virginia Tech beating Purdue? Week 2. I have Virginia Tech beating Old Dominion, losing to Purdue, beating Rutgers, beating Marshall, beating Pitt, losing to Florida State, beating Wake and Syracuse, and then dropping their last.
Here are the losses I have for Virginia Tech. Pitt, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, and NC State. So I do have them beating Purdue, but I have Syracuse losing to Purdue. So interesting that Purdue, 2 of their first 3 games are against ACC teams.
I like it, Dave. I like
Chaos.
it. I like it. I like it. Yours was great as well.
Well, you have to make up for it now.
Go ahead and bring mine up. Let's piss some people off today. Clemson 11-1.
Wow.
All right. They're losing to Notre Dame.
Y'all both have them losing to Notre Dame, huh?
Let's go.
I agree with you. I think they lose that game against Notre Dame. Florida State 9-3. All right. Is that a letdown this year for Florida State? Maybe.
So who do you got them losing? You got them
losses?
losing to LSU,
Clemson, and Pitt.
No.
Okay.
Narduzzi and the boys.
No way.
Hey, the week after, who does Florida State have? They have Miami, right? Looking at that big rivalry, right? Maybe a game they look over and Narduzzi and the boys pull out the dub. Hey, then give me Miami 8-4. We're getting better. Mario's believing a little bit. Pitt, I believe in Pitt this year.
Why?
I think Pitt, because one went 9-4 last year. I know they lost Slovis. I know you don't believe in the quarterback.
They lost Slovis,
but I do. You know why? Because Pittsburgh plays defense, right? They play defense. Up front, they're always talented on the D-line, and that secondary is always flying around. I think Narduzzi and the boys go 8-4. Hell, they went 9-4 last year. I think it's a repeat. North Carolina 7-5. Wow. I don't believe in it. I don't believe. There's one thing I do believe in is Drake May, but who'd he lose?
He lost Josh Downs.
But he's a top-tier receiver who bailed them out a lot last year. So he's not going to have that. He's not going to have that just absolutely outlet, that panic button that he can press. And their defense, we always know about North Carolina's defense. It's not going to be great. All right, so I think
can't be much worse.
Yeah, I don't think they have a great year. Louisville 7-5, not bad. Duke 7-5, NC State 7-5. NC State still got questions at quarterback.
Brennan Armstrong?
Oh, that's right. Brennan with their we got to see with NC State. Even with Devin Leary there, they lost a lot of talent on the defense, especially the linebacker position. You see that in the league right now. Wake Forest 6-6. It's hard to know. It's hard to know. Sam Hartman did so much for them. Wake Forest might be one of those years where we're going to have to try and lean on their defense, and I'll never believe in that. Boston College 5-7. Hey, Georgia Tech 5-7. Almost.
That's what I got.
Almost.
Oh wow.
Syracuse
4-8.
Look,
Syracuse?
one of the toughest stretches. Their month in October is
Schrader coming back though.
Just rough. I know it's just rough. I don't believe it. Virginia 3-9. We'll never, but Tony Elliott and the boys just don't got it. Virginia Tech, Grant Wells got to quit turning the ball over.
Yeah, eventually I think Grant Wells figures out. Here's why I believe in North Carolina. They lost Josh Downs. They lost Antoine Green, their top 2 wide receivers. But they get the Bryson Nesbitt kid back. They're absolutely loaded at tight end. And Devontae Walker from Kent State is an absolute dog out wide that they got coming over. Drake May makes the players around him so much better. And North Carolina is going to be pretty good up front with what they returned. And last year, Drake May got knocked around way too much, but they do have experience. They were somewhat young last year. Defensively, I like what they did in transport. There's just no way under a Gene Chizik team that our defense, they can be worse than they were last year.
I agree with you. You talked about the last 2 games of their season at Clemson and at NC State back-to-back. How about the first 4? South Carolina to open, Appalachian State, Minnesota. That's not
a walk in the park. They got some questions. But
and then you go on the road to Pitt to start conference play.
Their first 3 games, are going to dictate the way their season goes.
Well, that South Carolina game's huge. I got them beating South Carolina.
I got South Carolina winning that game.
I do. I got them beating South Carolina.
Did you have them? Their only loss to Clemson then?
Their only loss to Clemson and then at NC State. They play at Clemson, then at NC State back-to-back. Some of my biggest upsets that I have James Madison beating Virginia week 2.
Man, that's not a bad pick.
No,
and they play William and Mary too.
Yeah, James. Well, they just better hope they have a lot more Williams and not as many Marys. Outside of that, I have Purdue beating Syracuse. Syracuse goes there on the road. Nothing too crazy. There was a couple. I do have A&M beating Miami.
Yep,
I think A&M is going to go down there and beat Miami.
I do too. How about Wake Forest Vanderbilt week?
Man, that was tough. I got Wake winning that one. I got Wake winning it, but that was
Vanderbilt
a tough
could
one.
go in there and win that game.
No, they
100%.
could.
And I already had Wake, like I said, 6-6 to barely make a bowl game.
Well, I struggled with Virginia Tech at Marshall week 4. I struggled with that one.
Really?
I love Coach Huff. I just don't believe in what Marshall has offensively.
How about on the road at Rutgers?
I got him beating Rutgers because I think Rutgers they're so bad offensively.
How about Purdue?
I got them losing to Purdue at home, and they host Purdue. I got them beating Old Dominion's terrible. At least they were last year.
That's the one we had different. I think.
Yeah, the Purdue game.
Yeah.
But no, outside of that, man, I think it should be a hell of a year. I will say my coach of the year, obviously Clemson goes 12-0 in the regular season. Dabo Sweety's going to win it. My player of the year, Jordan Travis.
Okay.
Quarterback at Florida State. I know a lot of people would say 10-2, North Carolina. Drake May's probably going to win it again. I think Drake's going to have a great year, but I just feel like Jordan Travis is going to ball, man.
I'll take Mike Norvell, coach of the year at Florida State, coming through after being on the hot seat 2 years ago, really coming through with double-digit wins last year. I think they have another great season. Mike Norvell, and then I'll take Drake May to win Player of the Year back-to-back seasons.
And give me Dabo, and give me Will Shipley.
Will Shipley.
Wow,
Will
Player of the
Shipley.
Year.
Wow.
Player of the Year of the ACC.
Man, that would be a heck of a steal for Clemson. I know, Cade, I almost went with Klubnik, but I feel like Clemson's going to be a little bit more balanced offensively this year. We want to know what you think. 1-855-236-3228. I'd start calling here in about 15, 20 minutes. Honestly, it's probably going to be pretty loaded up. We want to know, too, what you have in the Booster Club. We're going to get to the questions on Twitter, too. But first, fall's right around the corner. It's college football season's basically here, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. You can choose your recipes, pick your delivery dates, then lay back and enjoy the last days of summer knowing dinner is covered. It gives you the options you want when it comes to what to make for dinner, not just the same old thing. They offer 40 recipes to choose from every single week. We got it delivered. It's perfect for Reed, who's pescatarian. She's got the barramundi, the steelhead trout, and it comes basically all the ingredients are in the bag. Like, it's so unbelievably simple, and it is fresh. There's a reason they're called HelloFresh. We absolutely love it at our household. So just simply shop the HelloFresh Market and take your pick from the curated selection over 100 add-on items. With so much variety, there's options for everyone in every lifestyle. Just go check it out. Go to HelloFresh.com/50booster. That's HelloFresh.com/50booster, BOOSTER, and use code 50booster for 50% off plus free shipping. That's 50% off your order at HelloFresh.com/50booster. Make sure to use the promo code 50booster. That's 50booster at checkout. HelloFresh.com/50booster, America's #1 meal kit. And we have our sweepstakes winner in the fantasy football Daily Wire Challenge. You get to be in our fantasy football league. So be checking your emails. I know who won, and they're going to be really excited.
Check your emails.
Check your emails. All right, we appreciate everybody that participated. It was a huge success. Okay, let's get to the Booster Club, Twitter, whatever you want.
I have one question.
Go ahead there, D.
Louisville, Kentucky, end of the season.
Kentucky.
I have Kentucky.
I have to look. Kentucky. Pretty sure I have Kentucky. Let's go to Steve Parker with a $5 donation. Steve, thank you, buddy. Says, happy 12th level update to my son, Ian Parker.
Yeah.
Wide receiver for the Hardin Valley Hawks in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Let's get it.
GBO, baby. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man.
Oh, happy birthday.
Let's go to Aaron Demers. What's up, Aaron? Louisville's schedule is crazy easy. No UNC, Clemson, FSU. We've been in the Atlantic since we started. We got Notre Dame at home. Last time we beat them.
Here's what I got for Louisville. And I'm going to be honest, this at Georgia Tech week 1 was an interesting game for me. But I love what Braum did at the portal. I love them bringing over Plummer. I think that kid's really talented. At Georgia Tech, excuse me, as I choked to death live on air. At Georgia Tech, win. Mercer, win. At Indiana, loss.
Interesting.
Loss. Boston College at home, win. At NC State, loss. Notre Dame at home, loss. At Pitt, win. Duke at home, win. Virginia Tech at home, win. Virginia at home, win. At Miami, loss. Kentucky at home, loss.
Yeah, it's amazing they're able to miss Clemson, Florida State, and North Carolina in a year where all those teams are up, and then your home games are Notre Dame, and you get Duke at home, and Virginia Tech, and Kentucky. But even with that said, I still have 7-5 for Louisville, 5-3 in the conference.
Be a good year.
Losses, yeah, it would be, for sure. Losses to NC State, Notre Dame, Pitt, Miami, and Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Let's go to Brad David, $5 donation. Brad, thank you. People forget Michigan State won 11 games in 2021. Do you guys think Sparty could be a dark horse in the Big Ten this year?
Man, it's going to be tough sledding.
We're gonna get to the Big Ten on Thursday, but I've said I don't believe in Michigan State. I don't believe in the personnel they have this year.
So it's not a Mel Tucker thing, or is it?
I
you
think
don't
it's
believe
a
in Mel Tucker.
I don't believe in Mel
forward,
Tucker.
or you just don't believe in them this season.
I don't believe in Mel Tucker moving forward. I don't. I think it was fool's gold with Kenneth Walker. Won 5 games at Colorado. I get it. That's an impressive feat for what Colorado's been through, but I feel like they panicked after the first year. And Kenneth Walker balled. And look, I hope I'm wrong. And I've got nothing personally against Mel Tucker. It's snuffleupagus to me. I just don't believe in it.
Let's go to Jessup Polt. What's up, Jessup? Assuming Clemson and FSU make the championship game, does the winner of the first matchup in the regular season win the championship? No,
I said no.
That.
No, I got Clemson beating them. Florida State winning in the.
I think Florida State wins the rematch if they get to a neutral site with a quarterback who's experienced and coming back.
So to Travis Elrod, who's the first coach in the ACC to get the pink slip.
I mean, under the scenarios I have, I don't think Virginia would fire Tony Elliott under year 2. I don't see Pitt firing Narduzzi. That'd be crazy. I don't think Dino would get the axe at 6-6 at Syracuse, even though he's kind of been on the hot seat. I would say Dino's the most likely if I had to pick one.
And we talked about him being on the hot seat a year ago, and they start 6-0.
And then
they lost 5 of their next 6.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mad Veg, hashtag Ask Crain and Company. Outside of the 3 that you picked to be the top of the ACC, do you have a dark horse to win the conference?
I mean, out of the top 3, you said? If there's one I had to pick outside of Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, it would probably be either Duke or Miami.
So
Those
not
would be the 2
Louisville
I'd
with
pick.
the schedule.
Not Louisville. I don't think they're deep enough.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's one of those teams that's always like, hey, they could just be good out of nowhere, especially when you have Mario Cristobal year 2 and they're returning a quarterback. I know Van Dyke struggled a little bit last season, but look, I'm expecting big things. I think they beat Clemson at home.
Yeah. And I pronounce Louisville. I've just always done that. Louisville Slugger. It's hard for me to say Louisville. It's just weird for me to say it. I pronounce it Louisville.
I thought it was just Louisville.
It is technically.
It's
like Illinois. It's not Illinois. It's Louisville. I just am not saying that. I never called Louisville Slugger a Louisville Slugger. No, I'm calling it Louisville.
Yeah, it's too late for me to change, to be honest.
It is.
Let's go to Trey Wright. If you're really honest, is James Madison beating UVA considered an upset?
No.
Right now, I guess branding-wise, yes. But in reality, when you look at both rosters, no. But it is at home for Virginia. I'd like to be able to give Virginia the benefit of the doubt that, it would be an upset to lose to James Madison. But no, I don't think at this point you can. I don't.
Let's go to Dakota Blackburn. Deco, what's up, brother? Ask the boys, what are y'all's thoughts on Jordan Travis's chance at winning the Heisman this year?
When I look at Florida State, look at what they return up front. You bring in Keon Coleman, you bring in Jaheim Bell to go along with the Benson kid at running back. I like the stable of backs they have. I think Florida State's in about as good as a position as anybody offensively, and Jordan Travis is a dual-threat guy. I think that's such a huge feather in the cap when it comes to being able to win the Heisman because it gives you another avenue to put up numbers, right? The better you can run, the more it opens up the scramble drill, the more you open up defenses, the more space they have to cover, the more space they have to cover, the more space they have to leave open. I think Jordan Travis right now is in my top 5. I think he makes it to New York.
Let's go to Mike Rocky. What's up, Mike? What if FSU beats LSU week 1? Would final predictions change?
For sure.
Sure. I don't think it would change anything. I don't think it would change my Clemson pick, and then I don't think it would change me thinking Florida State's going to beat Clemson in the ACC.
But that can mean college football playoff, though. If you have them losing to LSU and at Clemson the same way I do, but then winning a rematch of Clemson in the conference championship game, if you take that early season loss and make it a win, you could be talking about a conference champion Florida State Seminole team making the playoff.
I don't want to put the cart too far ahead of the horse, but I've talked about that Florida State LSU game being the biggest insurance game of the year. Because if it does get wonky at the end, like it could, and you have a one-loss Florida State team that wins the ACC, and you have a one-loss LSU team that maybe lost at Alabama, but then won the West and then beat Georgia in the SEC, and Georgia went undefeated, that's where that head-to-head, we just went over tiebreakers for the ACC. Like, at what point does that head-to-head mean the most when it comes down to maybe making that last slot in the playoff or getting into the playoff in general? That's where it gets really interesting to me.
All right, let's go to Fat Dad. He says, North Carolina better not waste having possibly the best QB in the country. 10-plus wins or bust.
Man, that South Carolina pick was hard for me.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
me too.
That one was hard for me. I know it's a 2.5-point spread. Even with the new clock change, the new rules with the running clock after the first down, except under 2 minutes, I still think that over at 62 is going to get smashed. It just feels like a 38-35 game to me. That's what it feels like. Or 41-38, somewhere around there. I worry about it. I don't trust either one of these teams to be great up front on both sides of the ball. I think Spencer's going to have a great game. I think Drake's going to have a great game. I mean, it's just who gets the ball last, and I think it's North Carolina.
All right, let's go to Bacon Eater. What is the best escape for Florida State to leave the ACC, or is it better for them to stick around?
They're locked in, man.
I mean, again, and like I've said on here multiple times, I'll never underestimate a lawyer's ability to find an argument. I know when you look at the revenue percentage that was part of the deal, there's apparently a little bit of wiggle room there. I just don't see a world in which Florida State or Clemson will go to the Big Ten. I feel like if there's any finagling that could go on, it would be between the two entities that the media rights deals through ESPN, right? The ACC and the SEC. And I think Florida State is kind of, wearing the short skirt, walking around. It used to be a girls' school, but wearing the short skirt, walking around at the SEC, just flaunting from the Big Ten. You'd be like, yeah, we're pretty hot on the market right now. Florida State's as marketable as they have been in a long time. And you have a big year this year, it only increases that marketability. And let's not act like Florida State isn't a great fit for the SEC.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
It's a
perfect. Tallahassee, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Now, the ACC can't let any teams leave, right? You're locked in.
But they can add them.
But you could go after Stanford and Cal in a heartbeat, huh?
Get that
Funny
West
enough, how
Coast
the contract can be finagled a little bit.
Yeah, it's a one-way.
Coming in.
It's a one-way street.
All right, let's go to Noah Lejeune. What's up, Noah? He says Jordan Travis is going to be in rehab after Harold Perkins makes the stiff drill him to the ground a dozen times in week 1.
Let's hope not. I already saw Alabama knock out of Florida State.
Just don't celebrate after, Mason. Be
in
careful.
Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, I don't wish injuries on anybody, but that game is going to be awfully physical. And you talk about a heck of a spy to put on somebody. I mean, there hadn't been a better spy since James Bond, if you're going to be honest. Double O Perkins.
Let's go to Oscar Gomez. What's up, Oscar? He said it would be awesome to see a 3-way tie in the ACC. I just don't know.
That's what I have.
That's you talking about chaos. I mean, that's Professor Chaos.
Chaos, and I think we're going to see it a lot more often now that conferences get rid of divisions. You
remember,
can't play everyone, man. Too many teams.
The ACC was the last conference to decide to go away from divisions. The SEC had already said, hey, this is the last year that we're going to have divisions. Obviously, the Big Ten scrapped at Pac-12, Big 12. So I love it. I think it's the best way to do it. I want to see the two best teams at the end of the day. And I think the Big Ten is the perfect example. When you look at the Big Ten East, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. Then you look at the Big Ten West, just a bunch of diet sodas. Even though I like Wisconsin a lot, it hasn't been, the two best teams.
So just take my scenario for a second here. So Clemson, let's say they do lose a conference game on the road at Miami. And then Florida State and North Carolina each only lose one conference game, and it's to Clemson on the road, and they don't play each other. Now, all three of those teams lose one out-of-conference game, but that doesn't matter, right? Let's just say they all have the same record. Who are you sending to the conference championship game?
Tell me the scenario one more time.
So Clemson loses on the road to Miami or some game like that.
They have one loss.
Florida State and North Carolina both lose on the road at Clemson, and they don't play each other.
Who am I sending to it? So all three have one loss.
Based off the tiebreakers that I looked up in that scenario, I think Clemson and Florida State still go. But North Carolina's only loss is still on the road at Clemson, just like Florida State's.
Well, what's the comment? So, I mean, all the other comments.
So I don't like these tiebreakers in the ACC.
You won. I mean, you have to have it. You had the list of them, right? What's like 4? What's after the common opponents? The win percentage or whatever it is against common opponents.
Because if there was no head-to-head competition, the next determinant is winning percentage against all common opponents. Then it moves to a win percentage against common opponents with the added
Did North
caveat
Carolina,
of
you had Florida,
finish
you had Clemson losing to who?
to Miami on the road. After that, the league will factor in details not settled on the field. The fifth step will be for a third-party sports source analytics to determine a team rating score at the conclusion of the regular season.
Not that.
And the team with the higher score will advance to the championship game. If all else fails, the commissioner of the league chooses the advancing team at random.
He's praying to God that
at
doesn't
random.
There you go. Gas
I
station
want
coin
chaos.
Flip. Gas
Waffle
station
House coin flip.
Well, so Clemson automatically gets in because they win the head-to-head against both of them, right? So Clemson automatically gets in that slot. Yeah. Man, that would be nuts. All right, we're going to get back to the Booster Club. We got live calls. Remember, 1-855-236-3228. We want to know what you think. What are your picks? Let's go and get to best and worst, Coney.
Best and worst. All right, I'll start it off here. Sean O'Malley in the UFC, man.
Yeah.
Second round TKO of Aljamain Sterling for the bantamweight title. I lost both my bets in this. I had it going over 3.5 rounds. I kind of wanted to see them go at it for a little bit. That one didn't hit. Then thought maybe Aljo would win by decision, but Sean O'Malley just keeps coming back again and again and winning all these big fights. Now he's got the bantamweight title. You like Sean O'Malley?
I knew when he came out with
I mean, yeah, I picked him to win. I mean, straight up. One thing about Sean, and it's tough to teach, man, his angles, the way he fights at, the way he knows his angles, the way he keeps his distance. I mean, it's a class act to watch, man. And what is he, number 2 in the world right now? I mean, he's going to get a chance. The dude's just a walking ticket seller.
I knew when he came out with the Joker hair.
Caught him with that right hook.
Sleepy.
Flipped him.
My best, Ole Miss, Landon Kamarian Franklin, Lane Kiffin, getting a big-time player to stay home. He's now the highest-ranked recruit that the Rebels have. Came down between really Auburn and Ole Miss. Now, it's not over until they sign. NIL, just like it is, and this is why I hate when people are like, oh, you just got him because of NIL. NIL is a part of recruiting now. Like, that's like saying, oh, you only got him because you had really nice facilities. That's part of the pitch, right? Now, some people have nicer facilities than other people. Some people have more NIL than other people. Some people will empty the vault, the NIL vault, on certain players to be able to get him. This is a big one. You look at the legacy of his family being involved, obviously, with the Ole Miss. But it's not over till it's over. This is a big one for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, getting the kid to stay home.
I guess he didn't grow up an Ole Miss fan. Apparently, Lane Kiffin says no one does. Nobody does. My best is something that didn't happen. We're not going to see not happen again. Last weekend without college football, guys.
Yeah.
That's the best. Next weekend, it's here. It's time. I'm ready to see people hit each other. I'm ready to see coaches yell at refs, players, wild fan bases. It's the time of the year where everyone's team's going to do better than what they think they're going to do, right? Everyone's going undefeated. Virginia, you ask Virginia,
talking yourself into
they're going 11-0, baby. Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's my best.
About their 12th game.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just want to wake up on Saturday knowing that it's college football. There's just something about the air is sweeter. Like, even if, it just, I don't know, it's just like a real Disney princess situation. Like, just
real Frozen situation.
Like, I walk outside, like an animated bird lands on my shoulder. Like, I don't know. It's just, there's something about it. Just something about it. Coffee tastes better.
Everything tastes better.
Everything
in life's
tastes better.
Worst?
Yeah.
Yankees.
Oh, man.
8 in a row, huh? 8 in a row, Booney. Hadn't happened in the last 40.
8 in a row.
Last 30 years. I wonder what the problem is. Really wish I could put my finger on it. Got sent something this weekend that someone rolled through my Instagram and found a video of me at the Braves World Series.
Yeah. What was that about?
Am I not allowed to go to other places and big things and have fun? Is that a real thing? I'm not a Predators fan, but I'll go down to the Predators, watch a hockey game, have a great time. I can't do that. It's not allowed. I got invited to the World Series. So excuse me if I had a fun time. No, I wasn't. I was just videoing it. And I got a video of the Grand Slam that they ended up the Braves lost that game.
Hit.
But I got that video of the Grand Slam. So, Kyle, get out of here, man. My lawyers will be in touch.
My worst, Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. committed to Alabama.
Ooh.
Not because he's not a good player or that it's Alabama. It's because Drake Kirkpatrick's son's already committed to college, which means I'm old now.
You are.
That, man, that one, there's like points where stuff just hits home and you're like, wow, I really am getting old. And this was one of them. And it's not like he's like an 8th grader. Like, he's class of 24, I believe. So, 24, 25. Dang, dog.
Hey, you're young.
I remember when Drake Kirk was rolling around in Gadsden. 5-star.
You're young at heart, man.
Press. Yeah, young at heart. That's what you say right before you have a stroke.
Man, my worst. Rangers. Rangers getting swept by the Brewers. They lost their last 4, to be honest.
Yeah,
not a good move. But silver lining for Rangers fans, that sweep came with Max Scherzer getting to 11th on the overall strikeout
Cat
list.
eye.
3,343 Ks from Max Scherzer. Past Phil Niekro for 11th all time. And after the game, he said, "I'm here to win. I'm not here for milestones or accomplishment." So Rangers fans, it's going to be all right.
Don't look him in the eyes too long.
Couple bonus ones here. Novak Djokovic overcame match point against Carlos Alcaraz to win the Cincinnati Open. That was pretty cool. And then we had the Phillies' Bryson Scott go up to bat with a number 2 pencil.
This was sweet.
Bring up the number 2 pencil bat.
Yeah, look, this Stott kid's a hell of a player, too.
From Vegas?
Yep, let's go ahead and roll it. Look at that, the eraser. Hashtag throw it. Take the SAT.
That is incredible.
Yeah, you could take the SAT with that thing.
That thing's disgusting. Good, it's out.
Ball out.
It's out.
It's worth at least half a hit a game.
Yeah.
You think so?
100%.
For sure.
I think so, too.
For sure. I just want to see what happens when it breaks. Like if it just shatters.
Number 2 pencils don't break.
Did you used to do the pencil game? You would break it against the other pencils?
Like the Joker when he...
Nah, not that one.
Oh.
Make the pencil disappear? No.
No. Clearly you didn't play, or you would have understood. Chat knows.
I tried to do the thing where like you would take the pencil and you'd like roll it, like to try and get it to like roll on its own and then stop at the end of the table.
I would do the thing. I would just try to remember to bring it to class.
Yeah,
that would be my thing.
That was always.
I'm asking for a pen and pencil.
What was the betting line on that?
Every day. I'm telling you. It's not.
A lot of people.
Plus 350 for you to bring a pencil.
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
Hey, maybe another honor mention. The USA basketball team beat Germany.
Good.
Came back in the second half.
Always glad we beat them.
They had us in the first half, but we came back in the second half.
We
tend to do that with them.
They had the men's team was losing. Austin Reeves, Anthony Edwards, just out here like.
Yeah, and they're like, show them.
Yeah, Anthony's like,
okay.
Do what you do. It was actually a pretty.
We're gonna start dribbling with our right hands now.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good game.
Yeah.
All right, Booster Club. Let's go to Seth Moore. All right. It says Tez Walker has been denied eligibility by the NCAA.
Right.
We're trying to appeal it, but as of right now,
I know
UNC will be without.
I know. I'm trying.
Walker.
I'm trying to be positive about it. I do think it's going to get overturned, at least from what I've been told. I'm just trying to put some good juju in it. I know it's been a big deal. He's not the only one. There's been a couple questionable NCAA. My thing is, it's like this is why people hate the NCAA. Like the lack of consistency, right? It's not just when it comes to doling out punishments. I mean, you sit here and say, hey, anybody can just transfer wherever, it doesn't matter. But oh, hold on, Tez Walker. Yeah, you basically did everything right. I don't know. I really hope for the kid. I know initially got denied. They are appealing it. I think, at least from what I've been told, that they're going to win the appeal. I really hope they do.
All right, let's go to Thomas Briscoe Jr., $10 donation. What's up, Thomas? Appreciate it, man. He says, hey, I got a weird question for you.
Uh-oh.
Have you guys considered following esports like MK1 Street Fighter and Tekken?
I'm going to be honest with you, unless it's like Madden or NCAA, like
I'm stoked about NCAA coming out. Y'all trying to be in my dynasty or online dynasty? Y'all trying to hop in?
Yeah, sure. What's the rules on offering and then unoffering and then reoffering?
We can say it depends on what we talk about.
That NIL,
behind closed doors. I mean, we can do a brother exemption. You know how that works.
I like that.
Cousin exemption?
It could happen. Let's go to Cole Frank, $2 donation. LeBron is mid. MJ's a goat, and happy B-Day, Blaine. We're close, buddy. It's Saturday.
Here we go.
But I'll take it. Let's go to Nathan Johnston, $10 donation. Nathan, thank you. Good morning, gentlemen. Top of the morning to you, sir. Which college football top 10 team is most likely to get upset first?
We talked about that. We're talking about Alabama because they have Texas week 2.
I would say, I mean, the easy answer is Florida State because they play LSU, right? I mean,
so what? Yeah, I guess what ranking are we going off of?
I mean, if we're going off of the best one, which is ours, I would say. God, if I'm going to say the first couple weeks, it's got to be Bama. I don't see.
Well, Bama has Texas week 2 and then Florida State, LSU week 1. So look, someone's losing.
Top 10.
Someone's losing.
So I feel like that's a cop-out.
This got me thinking. This is a great segue here because did you guys see ESPN's college football top 25 based off the FPI? Buckeyes number 1.
I'd rather listen to the FBI.
Alabama number 2, Georgia number 3, LSU 4, Texas 5. Michigan 6, Southern Cal 7, Clemson 8, Notre Dame 9, Penn State 10.
I think the FBI stands for freaking pathetic index. Georgia number 3.
Buckeyes and Bama
schedule?
1 and 2.
Yeah, FBI, I just don't believe. I would say I'm not going to do the FSU LSU because it's a cop-out. I don't see some humongous upset week 1 in the top 10.
You have Texas Tech beating Oregon week 2.
Week 2 as well. That one counts as well. Joey McGuire and the boys, guns up. Don't make me look stupid. But speaking about not looking stupid, all right, I know everybody doesn't have time to always brew their coffee. Okay, it's 2023. Science and technology's caught up. And when you don't always have time, you need to check out Black Rifle Coffee's ready-to-drink cans. Now, you got the brew over there. Check that bad boy out too. But if you're having to run an up-tempo offense, maybe you're Josh Heupel, maybe you're Oklahoma right now and trying to go fast. Hey, let's get to the line. Let's snap it. The ready-to-drink cans are perfect for you. They have enough caffeine. They've got great flavors: vanilla bomb, salted caramel, mocha, vanilla caramel. If you need anything other than that, you need to get your taste buds removed. They're a veteran-founded coffee company that's operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. David, what do you got over there?
Blackbeard's Delight. That's right. That's Blackbeard.
Surprise.
Ship. And the Headless Horseman's Roast. Pumpkin spice flavor.
That's a hell of a spectrum. Headless
Ichabod
Horseman
Crane
all
right
the way to the pirate ship. What do you got?
Battleship.
Gunship.
Gunship. I'm like Tyrese Gibson from Transformers, AC-130 above.
That's exactly right. You don't hear it until you're dead. Save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your one-time purchase, our first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. You can also find it in grocery and convenience stores near you, but we all know you want to go to blackriflecoffee.com, all right, and use our promo code. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Delicious, nutritious, delicious. All right, let's get into NFL quick hits real quick and then back to the Booster Club and then calls.
All right, let's do it, boys. First up, Aaron Rodgers will make his Jets debut this Saturday in the preseason against the Giants. You like this move?
Yeah. You got to get him a little bit warm. Got to get those feet chopping. Then we're going to do our NFL predictions here in a couple weeks, but I'm really, really liking what the Jets are stepping in. I'm smelling it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see you, Raj. I think he can make up for that offensive line not being super talented. Jets. Jets. Do
you play Aaron Rodgers one snap in the preseason?
No! No, I wouldn't. Why? For what reason? Aaron's fine. It's like riding a bike. He's good. Don't put him in there until it actually matters. Let's get Aaron hurt in the preseason. Let's do that. Let's see how we are. Let's get Zach in there.
He'll get rid of it.
Yeah, let's get Zach in there.
I think the referees tell the defenses before they're like, listen, you just get close to him, we'll blow the whistle. Don't hurt him.
Yeah.
In the preseason?
We'll see.
Don't hurt him.
You got
let him
guys
get
trying
trapped.
to make that final roster spot. Trying to come out there and be a hero.
Yeah. We're taking dives.
Have you guys seen the Hard Knocks yet with the Jets?
I've seen a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's nice.
All
Yeah,
right,
Jets are good
this week. Cooper Kupp, your boy, returns to Rams practice this week after the hamstring injury.
Cooper, worried. I'm worried. But you think I'd be more upset if I didn't win fantasy last year because he did get hurt. So I'm okay now. But I mean, he's so hard not to draft early, especially fantasy, because he's so good. But it's
Do you draft him this year? Early?
Depends on, I don't know, what's it like, are you saying first round?
First 2 rounds.
I draft him second round.
Second round.
I would. He's so good. Guys, when he was in there, it was 20 plus every
Stetson's going to be
look,
dealing
I'm not
the
doubting
Rockets.
whether he's good. I'm
Where
doubting
did Matthew Stafford
play.
Oh.
No. Yeah, who's better quarterback? Matthew Stafford at Georgia or Stetson Bennett?
I mean, Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. You're right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Next question.
That was easy.
Yeah, next question.
Yeah.
Would you rather take Stetson's career or Stafford's career? Georgia.
Like team accomplishments or like personal accomplishments? Since that's
both.
Not like break the passing record.
Stetson, hey, who had better
Murray
receivers,
did.
Matt Stafford or Stetson Bennett? Matt Stafford had A.J. Green.
He did have A.J. Green.
And Leonard Pope, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, Stetson had
Still didn't win it.
All right, next one up. Bengals' Joe Mixon has declined to talk about his case and to some media outlets. He declined to speak to reporters in his first practice that he was found not guilty of an aggravated menacing case. After Sunday's practice, Mixon declined to speak to reporters. He then announced he would be boycotting questions from specific reporters who represent the following outlets: Sports Illustrated, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Pro Football Network, and ESPN. Quote, it's not happening.
I love it.
I think, you do have an obligation to speak to the media as an NFL player, but you don't have an obligation to speak about a legal case that you're involved in. I think there's layers to that. When it comes to boycotting, why do you have to say you're boycotting them? Just don't call on them. Like, I don't think you have to come out and say it. I just want to just do the Helen Keller and talk with your hands.
Look, Crain and Company wasn't on that list.
No.
So as far as I'm
Joey Mix, you can come talk to us. Your obligation is just go run that damn football, brother. That's what your obligation is. You ain't got to tell them nothing.
So how good are the Bengals going to be this year?
Pretty good.
They're good.
Yeah. Joey B's is Joey B going to be back for week 1?
He's going to be back.
I believe.
Joey Franchise is back week 1, I believe. Yeah. And they just signed, Orlando Brown from the
better.
Chiefs. He's like, hike.
Yeah. He's like, good luck running around a house.
Yeah. Literally, you have to run around a neighborhood.
Tough to sack what you can't see.
They're going to be so good, dude. So good. It's going to come down to their defense. Always does.
All right, linebacker Miles Jack reportedly informs the Eagles he plans to retire ahead of the regular season. This is just a week or so after he had signed with the Eagles. Yeah. Is that a big loss for them? I mean, they're so stacked on defense.
They are stacked on defense. I think it's just, and look, Miles Jack, coming out of UCLA, you look where he was drafted. I mean, he was a hell of a player. The hype didn't match the career, but I mean, Miles played a long time, made a lot of money, and I think he's getting out in a time too where, look, there's a lot of reasons why guys retire. We've seen guys retire early because of worrying about head injury or just injuries overall. At the end of the day, Miles knows his body better than anybody, and good luck to him. Yeah,
the Eagles are going to be fine. Have you seen their defense? No. Not even their starting defense. Have you seen that? More depth in the ocean. They're fine.
They're like, wait a minute, Miles. This says on your resume you played at UCLA? You didn't play at Georgia, Alabama?
Yeah. It's like, oh, Miles, we didn't even realize you were part of the team. No, it's fine. You got to get healthy.
Good luck to him. I'm sure he'll be fine. He's made a lot of money.
All right, staying in the NFC East, Cowboys linebacker DeMarvion Overshown tore his ACL this past week.
Yeah, I believe he played at
Texas.
Texas.
Pick. Yeah, third-round pick out of Texas.
Tough.
And tough news for them.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. You hate seeing injuries, obviously, in the preseason, whether it's in OTAs, whatever. But I do think the Cowboys are going to be fine until I remember that Dak Prescott's their quarterback, and then I realize they're not going to be.
Deuce Vaughn's for real, though. I'll tell you what.
Look, Deuce Vaughn's nice.
The deuce is loose. In the preseason, now you want to talk about a sleeper pick in fantasy.
He's just hopping out of back pockets.
I mean, Tony Pollard, great back. Health is always concerned, especially that freak injury he went through last year. I'm telling you, Deuce gets behind those tackles and those guards, man.
Disappears.
Next thing you know, he's got 6 yards every play. It's a real Austin Eckler situation.
Yeah, it's invisibility cloak.
I'm telling you.
You're having to look on a map and see where the footsteps are.
He can't even ride all the rides.
Oh, wow, he's under the numbers running.
Damn it, he can run a counter 60 yards.
Yeah. I like Deuce. There's a picture of him like literally sneaking almost under an offensive lineman as two defensive players.
It's a real DFL situation. How much we got to pay the
maze runner. Yeah, he would be the star of the DFL.
Headliner of the DFL.
I'm talking about on the cover of the video game.
Yeah.
What if he's 1 inch over the requirement?
Take your shoes off.
Yeah. Oh, we can cheat height and weight.
Yeah, look, you think you're the first guy to lie in the program, but we go the opposite way.
Y'all didn't put half pound weights in your pocket?
It's like
you got up to the scale?
So how guys like, they're 6'1" and a quarter. It's like, I'm 6'2" in the program, not in the DFL. You're 4'9".
Never trust the height and weight in the programs.
Never trust the height and weight in the programs.
All right, let's go to Ryan Hines with a $2 donation. Appreciate it, Ryan. He says, Boston College, FTW, it will happen. Watch. Maybe.
Boston College, NIU win, Holy Cross win, FSU and Louisville loss, UVA win, at Army win, at Georgia Tech loss, UConn win, at Syracuse loss, Virginia Tech win, Pitt loss, Miami loss 6-6. Jeff Hafley, I said Boston College over 5.5 wins, one of the best regular season bets out there, and I didn't give them the benefit of the doubt at Georgia Tech or at Syracuse or at Pitt. That's one of Pitt's 3 wins. 7-5 is very doable from Boston College.
You have 7-5.
I got 6-6.
6-6. I have 5-7.
I have 5-7. I believe.
Losses to Florida State, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and Miami.
Okay. Well, all right, so you had them losing to Virginia Tech. I had them beating them. That was the difference.
All right, let's go to Brian Hall. What's up, Brian? He says, as a Packers fan, I always felt better against the Packers week 1 if Rodgers didn't take a preseason snap.
Let him get into the flow a little bit. Let him put that jersey on, run around a little bit. I like it.
All right, let's go to Chris Walton. If I start a college football fantasy football league, can I count on y'all to get in on this? A trust tree league?
Already in like so many, but yes, fine, sure. Do it for you, Chris.
All right, let's go to Joseph Edwards. What's up, Joseph? Leveled up to 22 today. Best present was known that my college football is back. Much love from South Africa.
Wow.
Whoa.
South Africa.
First off, enjoy it out there, my friend, and happy level up day. 22? God, it's a great age.
Let's go to Scott. I live in Oregon. I've not met anyone who's happy about the Pac-12 going. Fans are pissed.
I bet they are. I'd be pissed too.
No leadership.
At least Oregon's going the Big Ten. It could be worse.
Arrogance out there.
You could be over in Corvallis or sitting over there at some of these other places like Washington State. They're just like Pablo Escobar, just sitting on the swing.
Hey,
just lonely and hoping.
Coming into the Big Ten, we're going to have a lot of fun together. All right, you're in the trust tree.
Trust tree? I love it. Let's go to Patrick Rye. Says, I think FSU and Clemson should stay in the ACC because as talented as their programs can be, I just don't see them as competitive in the SEC.
Look, I don't think it's crazy because it's not, and it's right to say that the SEC is harder than the ACC. I think if Dabo, how much of a negotiating tactic is it to be able to get more of a revenue share for Florida State and Clemson while staying in the ACC? Bobby Bowden did not want to go to the SEC for a couple reasons. But I don't think Dabo wants to go to the SEC. I think saying, all right, there's maybe 2 teams a year that we're going to play within the conference that are as talented as we are, as opposed to, I don't know, 6 or 7. Like going on the road in the ACC is a lot different than having to go to Kentucky or having to go to Tennessee or having to go to LSU or to Arkansas or to Ole Miss or to Auburn or to A&M. It's just different. The depth of toughness is different. It is what it is. Up is up, down is down, left is left, right is right. The SEC is better than the ACC. I'm sorry.
I think Florida State would come in and do really well. They're college football blue blood, but I'll tell you who doesn't want them in is Florida.
No, I wouldn't want them in either.
Anywhere near the SEC.
No.
Let's go to Bradley Cogdill. What's up, Brad? He says, so I just got a Traeger. I need some game day food to prep. You got any ideas?
Good Ranchers.
Put Good Ranchers on the grill and have a great day.
Good Ranchers. I need to remember the promo code. It's got to be Booster.
Booster.
Right? It's Booster. You get $30. You get $30 off the box your choice. When's your pork box coming
in? They emailed me and said this week. I think this Friday.
I need to change mine to the pork. Well, I'm going to see yours first. I know it's going to be delicious. I just want to see what's in there.
You don't have to change yours. I just got an extra box.
You did?
I still got the butcher's bundle coming and a pork box. That's how we do it.
Woo!
That's how we do it.
Living life over there, bud. I love it.
Nice to know people.
Got a $5 donation from Patrick. Appreciate it, Patty. He says, can't wait to see Deuce Vaughn on the cover of the PS5 Dinklage 24 next year.
Yeah.
DFL forever, baby.
He could win the Dinklage Award.
Is that the MVP or is that the championship trophy?
That's the Heisman of the... No, wait. What did we decide?
Blue...
I don't know. You're commissioning this thing.
Well, don't say it.
Never mind.
What, I'm trying to remember, did we say the Dinklage Trophy was like the Heisman of the DFL or the Lowsman?
That's the Lowsman.
Never mind.
The
Dinklage, there it is. The Dinklage Trophy is if you win the championship, you have the Lowsman.
The Lowsman Trophy.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the time machine. Let's hop in it real quick. How is it that everyone ignores LSU secondary versus FSU receivers? FSU also has the best tight end group since maybe ever. Perkins can't spy and guard a tight end. Chestnut is stating he was thrown around by Wilson. I'm not going to get in the business of doubting Harold Perkins.
Well, when you spy, you're typically in zone coverage.
Yes,
you're not manned up. So it's not like you have to guard. You're in your zone. You're feeling what's coming in your zone, but you're also spying on the quarterback. It's a zone coverage situation. It's not a man coverage. Don't get that confused. Second thing is J.K. Johnson getting hurt for LSU. The Ohio State transfer in the secondary does hurt them, but I'm just telling you, I'm not worried about LSU's athleticism in the back end. Where I think you're going to see LSU make their hay is with Mason Smith and those guys up front. You see what they did on the edge in the transfer portal, even though I do like Florida State's offensive line. Look, they're 2 really good teams. I mean, there's going to be matchups that are better in some spots than others. But these are 2 quality physical ball clubs that are playing each other. I think it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a physical game. It came down to an extra point last year. What I'm more worried about is, am I going to take the over or the under right now in that game? That's what I'm worried about. with Jordan Travis and Jaden Daniels, I really want to lean toward the over. I really do. And I love Jared Verse, right? And the experience that Florida State has in that front seven. But I think LSU's going to be able to score too.
Let's go to SBG for life. He says, Vol fan here. Joe Milton and the Vols are getting too much hype and still pretty unproven.
Yeah, it's again, he's biggest.
I don't disagree.
One of the biggest hinge players in college football. He's able to figure it out. Tennessee's good enough around him to do some damage. And you get Georgia at home, which we're dropping our SEC predictions on Friday. By the way, make sure you're following at Crain and Company, following all of us on socials, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Coney, when you want to get to calls, you just tell me.
Let's do it. We got Steve on the line in Idaho. Steve, what's going on, man?
How you doing, boys?
What's up,
buddy?
bud?
Set the tone for the week.
Oh, yeah. Coming to you live from my farm in Idaho. So,
love
question
it.
for you. I'm a hardcore Denver Broncos fan, and after watching Can't Hack It last year, fumbled the clock management so many times, I just want to know, why is your average NFL coach worse at clock management than a 10-year-old playing Madden on his X? And
You know, go ahead.
my favorite job for you all is, do coaches spend too much time watching condensed game film, and so as a result, they lose the force for the treat? They're just watching individual plays instead of watching the whole game and getting an idea of what's really important, like winning the game, rather than if a wide receiver was 2 yards off on a split. What do you think?
Number one, Steve, thanks for the call, buddy. I'll say when it comes, I'm always shocked when the clock management is bad from a head coach at any high level. I mean, even high levels of high school football, because you know the way the clock operates. Now, I will say we do have new rules this year in college football. I'm not talking about the NFL. It's the NFL rule, basically. The clock doesn't stop after a first down unless it's under 2 minutes now in college. So if you're a bettor and you're thinking about taking the over, you look at a game like, I don't know, Navy and Notre Dame, it's sitting at 50.5. I was talking to my good buddy, a guy who coached for a long time at a high level, in Tyler Siskey, and he reminded me of this. I mean, it could take 7-8 minutes off the clock. Now, you get a couple first downs, if the clock's not stopping at a place like Navy, and they'll run the whole thing out. So have that in the back of your mind, and if you're going against warp speed offenses. But there's no excuse, Steve. There is no excuse. When you're the head man and you have people in your ear that are telling you things, reminding you about the clock, there is no excuse. To me, that's either you're panicking or you don't have a full grasp on what is going on. You're so worried about smaller things, you're not seeing the bigger picture. When it comes down to game tape, when we talk about winning the game, a lot of those small things that you're looking at does go into winning the game. You're looking at, did the receiver run the right route? Are we lined up right? Because there's times where plays work where it didn't exactly go how you planned it, but you do want to pay attention to detail. You look at the wide and the tight. I do wonder sometimes, though, you can kind of lose that feel for how the game was going when you're just watching the cutouts of the wide and the tight, because it's just play after play after play. Or sometimes they sort it, formation. I'm going to watch this amount of this formation, this amount of this personnel, this amount of this play, whatever. So I think there's multiple ways to skin a cat, but you do want that attention to detail.
Hey, Steve, how did you feel about Sean Payton's comments regarding Nathaniel Hackett?
Why poke the bear, man? It's 100% true. Everybody knows it's 100% true, so you don't have to say it.
Well, you'll get your shot. I think it's October 8th, maybe. Jets Broncos.
that one's going to be a little personal. And look, there's a little bit of gamesmanship to it. I think I will say this though. I think Sean coming out and kind of being genuine and honest about how he shouldn't have said that. I thought that was a good look.
Yeah, I like that.
But I like Aaron sticking up for his guy too.
I do too. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a big reason he's in New York.
Yeah. Look, again, coordinator or head coach.
Steve, thanks so much for the call, buddy.
Thanks. Enjoy those potatoes out there, man.
Call us again next week. See you, man. Anthony in Clarksville, boys. Anthony, what's going on, man?
Hey, two Eagles here. So I'm just wondering, guys, if you had to, gun to your head, would you rather take Drake May or Jordan Travis?
For in the NFL draft or just this season or what?
Nope, just this season. If like you had to pick a guy for your team, who do you want?
Drake May.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Drake's running ability. While it's not as good as Jordan, I think Jordan Travis may be the best running quarterback.
I agree.
Actually, when it comes down to it, but Drake runs well enough. I think he's a little more athletic than Justin Herbert, and he's a long strider, that his throwing ability is so far ahead of Jordan Travis's that even though the running ability may not be there, I've got to take Drake May. I've got to. And he's 6 foot what?
Yeah.
4?
And y'all would take Caleb Williams over both of them?
Yes.
I would too.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't know. I think it's pretty close.
I don't think it's
I'll
as
say
far.
this,
I agree with you. I don't think it's as wide between Caleb Williams and Drake May as some people make it. I know Caleb's got that Jack Sparrow run.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. But, dude, Drake's nice.
No,
Drake is really
cool.
nice.
From an arm talent standpoint,
So
I think they're the best.
I think everyone has, Drake May, Jordan Travis is 1A and 1B, whichever order. But I didn't get to really watch Clemson a whole lot last year. And so this past week, getting warmed up for the season, I watched a bunch of Caleb Klubnik highlights. And I know you have to kind of be careful with highlights because you don't really see a whole lot of the negatives. But Caleb Klubnik, especially as a freshman, you did excellent last year. And I think that Syracuse game where he kind of brought him back really kind of woke me up to him a little bit. I don't think he's as far back at the pack as a lot of people might think either.
No, and look, the thing with Cade is that think about the situation he was in last year too. You have DJU, the older guy, veteran in the locker room, leader of that team. You're kind of the young up-and-comer. DJ was up and down. You come in. I thought he performed really, really well at times. And we saw this with Quinn Ewers too. Like, you get up and down performances from young guys. But I thought, you look at the bowl game, I thought he performed pretty well there too. Now he has a year of being the guy in the offseason, and Garrett Riley. Having Garrett Riley is huge, getting put in that position. And look, it's going to come down, in my opinion. I believe in Cade Klubnik. I do. I think a lot of it's going to come down to whether those wide receivers can stay healthy or not. That's been the biggest problem for Clemson. I mean, you look at Bo. You look at some of the guys that they've had in the past who haven't been able to stay healthy. If they're able to stay healthy, I think they're deep enough this year to be a problem on the outside. I like the running game. I like them on the offensive line. I like Cade's ability to run. I just do.
I mean, you got to think this Clemson team. I believe in Dabo Swinney and what he's built, right? Yeah. You got to think DJU, bust. I mean, he was a bust at Clemson. We all know that. Their skill positions were below mediocre where you never see that at Clemson. When they win 11 games, right? They win 11 games with all these. Their defense was great. Clemson's defense is always going to be solid. They recruit like an SEC team. They won 11 games with all these question marks. Cade's already an improvement. Yeah. Your skill position's already better. So I don't understand how Clemson won't be. You lose Brian Breesy. Like, the middle of your defensive line was phenomenal, but they're stacked on the
Look at your schedule.
Yeah, and look at your schedule. So I believe in Dabo Swinney and just the culture he's built. He's built a winning culture.
I mean, DJ Uiagalelei had good moments at Clemson, but we're just comparing him to Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson and some of these guys.
I mean,
otherworldly. That the standard's that high there now.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the schedule. At Duke, that's a tough opener.
I know.
That's a tough opener, but I think they get through it. You got it. Week 2, it's a win. FAU week 3. FSU at home week 4. You get through those first 4 weeks undefeated. You got at Syracuse, Wake at home, at Miami, at NC State, Notre Dame at home, Georgia Tech at home, North Carolina at home, and at South Carolina. Going to be favored in probably all those games, I would think. So.
Hey guys, one last thing. Do you guys think this is Mac Brown's last chance, his last hoorah to make some noise?
Like, will he retire after this year? I think it may be a situation
years old.
where when Drake May's gone, maybe he shuts it down. Now, who takes that over? Does Gene Chizik take that over? I don't know.
Better play good on defense this year.
Yeah, you better play. Yeah, you better be way better on defense. I think when Drake May's done, Mac's done. That's what I think. I think he may have stuck around a little bit longer because Drake's that special. So
I love it. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Brian in Indiana. Brian, what's going on?
Hey, gentlemen, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Oh, living the dream.
Love it.
So, first time caller.
Appreciate it, man.
You guys for a long time. Work schedule just makes it hard to get a phone call in sometimes.
Yeah, we're glad you're able to fit it in.
Appreciate it. So I do have a couple real quick questions. Number one, my Baltimore Ravens over-under this year is 9.5, and the under is going at -125. Me personally, I think they're not talked about as much as they should be with some of the stuff they've gotten, especially with that picking up that Clowney guy here just in the past couple days. So what would you guys take, the over, the under for the 9.5?
Well, I'm looking at the schedule right now. You've got Texans week 1, dub. At Bengals, I'll say 1-1. Colts at home, 2-1. At the Browns, give me 3-1. At the Steelers, give me 3-2. I like Pittsburgh. Titans 4-2. Lions, that's going to be tough. I'll give you the win there. 5-2, 6-2 at the Cardinals. I'm going to take over. I'm going to take over 9.5.
I feel that's a good bet. I mean, I think what y'all added, right? What was always the question mark when it comes to the Ravens offense, receiver position? You're not having enough, right? What do you
I like Monken.
You went and
too.
draft Zay Flowers, who's going to be an absolutely just all-tool guy, and you go get Odell Beckham, right? Which would be hidden. If Odell can stay healthy, so you're looking at J.K. Dobbins, who does look better coming off that ACL. J.K., Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. That is a good enough skill position group to get you over 9 games.
Yeah, and I will say, too, I mean, you went 10-7 last year without all these weapons and Lamar Jackson being beat up. I know the schedule's different, but I do like, and something I don't think enough people are talking about, is the Ravens. I think the zone running scheme fits Lamar Jackson a lot better than the gap scheme that we saw under Greg Roman. I think Monken bringing that kind of zone style opens some things up for Lamar. I think it opens some things up in the play action game too, in the zone read game, and the RPO game's a little bit more built in there. And I think it helps Mark Andrews out too. I think it makes him a little more unpredictable with Mark. So I think there's a lot of moving parts that the Ravens have done well. You look at what they added last year at the end defensively. I'm buying Baltimore. Lamar's now, hey, contract signed, right?
Will that lead to a regression though?
You know, I sometimes I think it does. I think guys get comfortable, but I don't think Lamar's reached the apex yet of what I think he's a different breed a little bit, man. I really do. I feel like he's the type that once he doesn't relax when something like this happens. This is when he goes full bore. But a lot of it's going to come down to the health of the skill position around him. But I'm buying Baltimore.
And the Texans and Colts both at home, that's helpful. You got Cardinals on the schedule too. That division's just so tough. I mean, you're going to see the Bengals twice. You're going to see the Browns twice. I expect them to be better.
They got to be, right?
Year 2. Steelers twice is no fun.
Absolutely. And I think that the biggest thing with Lamar is the fact that he's had such a passion for the game. I think that he's not going to regress because of that. He wants to win, and that's what he's been saying from the beginning. So I think that helps us. I'm going under the mattress to grab some cash, and I'm definitely going to put some money on that plus money for the over for sure.
I love it.
You do it. You go under that mattress and you get those $20.
Spank that ass.
You spank that ass, Les.
Right. My second question is probably a little bit of a probably going to raise some eyebrows, but it's just my stance on it. With seeing the Patriots and the Green Bay suspending the game because of an injury, I get the Damar Hamlin thing was a little bit different. I mean, you're literally doing CPR on the field. That's a little bit different situation. But do you think the NFL's gotten to a point where if someone has a pretty serious injury, maybe not life-threatening like Damar's was, but they're just going to start suspending games? And what does that do to the future? Because I kind of feel like that takes away – these players know coming in that this is a very violent contact sport, and injuries are going to happen. I mean, look at all the injuries in preseason already, just ACLs and Achilles, stuff like that. Do you think the NFL is going to get to a point where it's going to take away from the playoffs, kind of almost what happened or what did happen with the Bills-Bengals last year, where now the playoffs teams could be affected negatively because other teams, the games are being suspended?
Yeah, I think if it wasn't the preseason, they wouldn't have suspended it totally if it was during a regular season game. I think the Damar Hamlin thing, there was no precedent set for that. I think the fact that it was something that was so new, it kind of just shocked everybody. I mean, if you looked at the reaction of the players, I mean, at the end of the day, if the players don't want to go out and play, like there's not a lot that you can do. I mean,
I think he's onto something. I think we will see it a little more.
I see, but like we've seen.
We're a different generation.
We've seen guys get, and I guess you could say maybe it is a generational thing, but I think in the season, if you saw a guy get hit and he's responsive, even if he doesn't have feeling in his extremities, they would still play the regular season game or the postseason game. I think the Damar Hamlin thing was like they saw them doing. It's one thing when you're seeing a guy and he can't move his arms and legs, you're freaking out. It's another thing when they're doing CPR to somebody live on the field.
Like that was a different circumstance. But we had seen someone, what was it, in the 60s or 70s, died on the field of play. Even then they finished that game. I don't want to go so far as to say like, oh, you know, our generation's just soft and use that terminology because every generation thinks the next one after them is softer. But it's just different. The circumstances are different now. I mean, the NFL was formed with guys who were coming back from World War II. You know, like that's just a whole different, that's just a different mentality in terms of like finishing games and fighting through pain.
It's an interesting thought, and we'll have to see. I mean, I hope we don't ever find out, but eventually, you know, something is going to happen when you play that violent and physical of a sport. So it'll be something interesting to keep an eye on for sure.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Ryan, thanks, buddy.
Great call, man.
Thanks,
Love
man.
what you're doing.
Hey, appreciate you.
All right, we got Steve's action figure frenzy in Ohio. Steve, what's up, man?
Hey.
What's up, Steve?
What's up, Stevie?
Okay, Jake, after that motivational speech on Friday, I was ready to run through a brick wall.
That's what I'm here for, dog.
Okay, I mean, I didn't have
Maybe that can
to
make
run
up
through
for
a
all the
brick wall.
misses in trivia.
I didn't have to run through the brick wall, and at being over 50 years old, I shudder to think what would have happened if I tried.
Yeah,
But I
they
was
may have had to
ready.
suspend your game if that would have happened.
All right, I do have some trivia for you.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to name 3 players and give 4 stats. And one of the stats will apply to all 3 players. The other 3 stats will apply to 1 player each.
Gotcha.
And to win the game, you need to identify the stat that applies to all 3 players. And I can give you a freebie clue this week, thanks to the motivational speech. And the clue will be that you can pick 1 player, and I'll reveal the stat that applies to that player only.
Gotcha. Let's rock and roll.
Okay. The players are Corbin Burns, Garrett Cole, and Shane Bieber.
Nice.
That's nice.
And the stats are from the 2022 season.
Okay.
The stats are at least 1 complete game, a whip under 1, at least 200 innings pitched, and over 250 strikeouts. Now, who did what?
You know Garrett Cole from last year? How tapped into you what Garrett Cole? Did he throw a complete game?
That's what the complete game one jumps out at me. It can't be that easy though. What's the freebie one? I want the freebie clue.
We can pick which player.
What do you think about Bieber? That's my question on the complete game.
Well, so we can ask you what Bieber's stat was?
You can pick 1 player, and I'll tell you the stat that only applies to him.
Okay.
So pick Bieber.
Bieber.
Okay, for Shane Bieber, the only stat that applies to him is the at least 1 complete game. He had the only complete game.
He had the complete game. And
He had the only complete game.
He had
among
the
three.
complete
So
game.
complete game's out.
So now all of so
He said at least 200 innings pitched.
200 innings pitch, a whip under 1. How many Ks?
250.
Over 250.
250 Ks.
So it's
Dude, Corbin Burns is out there striking people out, dog. Like striking them out.
you gotta feel like GC Bieber and Corbin Burns threw 200 innings, right?
Yeah.
No
Got-
major injuries last year, right?
No.
Oh,
I like that.
All right, we'll go over 200 innings.
Well, wonders never cease. The correct answer is at least 200 innings.
Oh,
There we go.
Thank you, God.
Yes.
Thank you, God. Finally, Steve, thank you. I can die now.
oh my God!
Beam me up, Scotty.
Like I said, Bieber was the 1 complete game. The
Oh,
whip under 1 was Burns. He was .965.
Corbin was.
And Cole was over 250 strikeouts. He had
Yeah.
257.
I'm
Wow.
shocked Corbin didn't have over 250.
How many?
Wow.
How many?
Great stuff, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, man.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you,
man.
Steve. Thank you. God, like a boulder's just been lifted off my shoulder.
All right.
Won last week, too.
Cody in Illinois.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Cody, is there an update?
Is that Friday?
All right, who is ready for a QB10 update?
Oh,
You blew it
update.
last week.
We blew it last week. We got to
All
fight
right.
back.
I mean, we definitely blew it last week, but as long as
We?
go ahead and win this one.
No,
Cody
this
seems
is a team.
upbeat. Cody seems upbeat.
I'm not on the team.
Cody, it was something good. about
Remind
that.
people last week. What happened again? We were at Penn State on the road. It's hard to win.
Yeah, so last week on the road at Penn State, 41-30 loss. Big pick six
Pick six.
for Cone that helped lose the game, but
Yeah, take a seat.
it's okay. I think going forward is, as long as we keep winning, we can still make that Ohio State.
This one's Iowa, right? They're
attention.
waving at the kids
Yeah,
in the
so-
fourth quarter. Uh-oh.
This one's against number 19 Iowa, and I'm pretty sure that's before the wave, but
Yeah, and before Ferentz's kid was the OC, so y'all may be screwed.
yeah, definitely. I think Ferentz's kid was still playing football at that point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with the stats. 26 of 35
There we
for
go.
319 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0
Let's
interceptions.
go.
Somebody got
That's
the
how
message.
you play. There's no way
Somebody
we
got
lost.
the message.
There's no way
Maybe
we
you start by
lost.
rolling some guys.
Come on, man.
All right, in what looks to be a statement game, Michigan wins 40-7.
That's how we do it, man.
Whoa. Must have had a great week of practice. Must have had a great week of practice.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Hey, look, it's going to come down to the Ohio State game. Let's
Look,
be
you got to
honest.
call your parents after last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks
Girlfriend
like it's
broke
going to
up
come
with you?
down to Ohio State now because we have Northwestern next week, then Ball State, then Indiana, and then we got the game.
Okay.
And it's divisions, right?
No divisions.
division.
And we play
No,
them on the
this-
road, but
so
we'll
it's
get
just
there.
outright.
One division.
Just outright.
Yeah.
So
What's
I
hey,
think
what's
the
Penn
only
State's
other-
record?
Penn State has 1 loss to Ohio State. So we need them
Gotta
to lose
win.
1 game, or it could be a
It's three-way tie.
again.
Three-way
The
tie.
game's really weird. The game's really weird with how it picks the winner.
Penn State will lose
it's
another
kinda-
one. Hey, trust me when I say they'll lose another one.
I need to see Penn State the rest of their record.
You can see
Or
the
rest of their
schedule.
schedule.
Hey, good. Hey, good performance.
Hey, good
That's how we
job.
ball.
Cody,
That's how we ball.
keep the good vibes coming, man.
Appreciate it, man. Talk to
Good
you
stuff
soon.
there.
All right, Josh in North Carolina. Josh, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up? 10-2.
I finally, I finally figured out my call sign, and it's a little complicated because Tennessee football is my first love, but I also went to UNC, so love both schools. However, I think I can combine the two, and I think I came up. It's similar to Voltaire, which is one of my favorite philosophers. So what about Voltaire? I don't know. I think
Baltar.
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 Tar Heels, Volunteers.
I like that. Baltar.
Yeah.
I like that.
I love it.
Okay, that's a good fit. It's a good mix.
John, I love where your head was. I thought Voltaire was a musician, by the way. I guess I was totally wrong.
Yeah, he's a philosopher.
Yeah,
No,
Jake.
it's all good.
Oh,
Like
sorry.
a centaur.
Sorry, I didn't go to the prestigious, Michigan School of Philosophizing.
You should have. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And another thing I was going to ask, it has to deal with like Auburn's schedule and Tennessee's schedule. So they're the two. I think they're the two schools that can either get as many as 10 wins or as little as 7 to 6 wins. And don't know where to shake out, but I was kind of wanting to make a bet, and it might include a shaving of the head situation because that's how much I believe in this. But I just don't see Auburn getting more than 8 wins.
It's going to be tough.
I don't see it. It would be tough, but I will shave my head if they get 8 or more wins, and that's a bet I'll make to y'all.
Josh, you're saying that if Auburn wins.
If Auburn?
Okay.
All right, yeah, let's make sure we get this right.
Yeah. All right. If Auburn gets 8 or more wins, I will shave my head. However, I want somebody else to do something if they get less than that.
Don't look at me.
Blaine will shave his head.
No, I will not.
If they go 7-5,
Look,
shave his head.
look, the way I see it's like this. Okay, one of us did the one chip challenge. Okay, that's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So one of y'all two. I'm not saying shave the heads, but I mean, do we not?
I wore a Met shirt last year.
Oh,
you want to talk about
you're not even
pain?
a Braves
You
fan.
want to talk about pain?
I had to eat
Talk to me about
poison.
God,
this
I
shit.
would-
This
I
guy
would-
got
I
to
would-
eat a Dorito. That's a reward.
I would, yeah. Okay, here, let's get a bag of them in
That's a
here.
reward.
I'd wear a Met shirt that was on fire before I would eat another one of those, the hot chip challenge.
Look, we could make a bet, but one, I don't think we can shave our heads.
Well, here's the question. Here's the
I
question.
just don't want it to be eating anything, please.
What? No. You still got to eat some, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't eat nothing. We can do maybe
Let us think about Josh. Let us think
Yeah.
about it. You go
Let's
with
see
the
what we're
shaving
allowed
the
to
head.
do.
All right.
Let's see what we're allowed to do.
Whatever it is,
But
it
hey-
won't involve Blaine having a paintball gun in his hand.
if you do lose,
sure.
Josh, I'm gonna need a video
Yeah.
sent
All right.
of you shaving your head. Can we shake through
All right,
camera?
will do.
Yeah. Virtual
through
shake.
camera right now?
I'll send out a tweet later to y'all guys. I mean,
Yeah,
everything
okay.
on the internet's permanent, so it'll be.
It will be bookmarked.
All this is permanent?
Yeah,
Full time?
Yeah. It's here forever. It's on the line.
It is.
I
All
love it.
Definitely.
right, Voltar.
All right,
I'd
Voltar.
love to
Thanks,
hear
dog.
it. Call in again soon, buddy.
All right.
God,
See you, man.
nobody's. We haven't had that much backlash for the ACC prediction. Jeff. We're
Nope,
pretty good
that's
about
all
that.
today, boys.
All right, let's go to the Booster Club real quick.
Let's go to CG87343. $20 donation. Big
All right.
bones. Who's your picks for winning the respective conference championships? We'll get to that. Any chance that independent teams moving into a conference? And also why the conference realignment. A little behind the news. From Alabama, but living in Maine.
Wow. It's a lot going on there. All
I
right,
know.
the first question was, so we already picked our conference championship winner. I got Florida State beating Clemson in the conference championship game. You do too, David, right?
Yes.
And you
I
have,
got Clemson.
you have Clemson.
Sir.
Okay. Conference realignment, it's for the money. It's where they're able to fund. Geography doesn't matter anymore. I thought the whole point of conferences was because of geography. That's why they're named Mountain West and the Southeastern Conference and the Atlantic Coast Conference. But now it's just a way for media companies to funnel money. That's the way it is.
He has another one, $5 donation. It's also his 42nd birthday today.
God,
Wanted
dude.
to also say, love the show, and hopefully the NFL refs won't call roughing the passer if the QB gets bumped into, buddy. They're going.
I agree with everything you just said.
Happy birthday,
Congrats,
man.
Birthday 42. Getting out there. Fought a couple bosses. Getting about to fight the halfway boss. Best of luck.
Now let's go to Blaze Diaz. What's up, Blaze? He says, yo, Blaine. This is
God, that
for
name's
everybody.
fire.
It's the Big 12, the funnest division to watch for college football.
Big 12?
Big 12, the funnest.
The funnest conference?
The funnest conference to watch.
Say it's up there. It's going to be interesting this year. Texas and Oklahoma last year. We'll see. We're getting the Big 12 tomorrow. Uh-oh. Burn the city down.
All right, let's go to Baby Soar's dad. He says, Blaine, who do you have winning the Natty this year, and why is it Michigan? Hey, don't try and get that out of me right now.
Yeah, not till
Don't try and
Friday.
get that out of me right now. I know who David has, and
Yeah,
Jake.
without a doubt.
And he also says, what's a better team leader, being a quarterback or a linebacker?
Quarterback.
Is it the Q?
It's the Q. It's got
It's
to be.
always nice to have an LB out
Well, it
there.
depends on
No,
the
it is.
leadership.
Well, the linebacker, the Mike is the quarterback of the defense, but at the end of the day, if we're going to look at team, quarterback's the leader. You touch the ball. It's only two people that touch the ball every play, and only one of them throws it. That's the quarterback.
Let's go to AJ Adams, 22. He says, Jordan Travis is going to play wide receiver.
In the
The
NFL.
NFL.
Yeah, I've said that multiple times.
You don't think he's good enough to play quarterback?
No,
Really?
no. Not in the NFL.
Ryan Tannehill did it. He went
mean-
the other way.
Yeah,
I mean,
how's that working out for him?
God, it's just, that's just tough.
Hold hands and hope.
All right. Let's go to Bacon Eater. He says, is the Cowboys ever going to get over the hump?
Not with Dak at quarterback. I don't know how many times I got to tell you all this. Like, hey, Jerry Jones, just give me $1 million. I'll tell you how to fix it. Get rid of Dak. All right, give me my $1 million. Now shut up.
All right, let's go to Brian Hall. What's up, Brian? Says, Jermichael Finley hit was way more disturbing than Hamlin's, but obviously the CPR is another level.
Yeah.
Do you think we're soft? Do you think this generation's soft?
Compared to the other ones, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this generation in general.
course.
Well, I mean,
Open
we haven't
your
had to
eyes.
do World War. Think about it.
You're not wrong.
I hope
All right.
we don't. Please. Especially right now. I'm of age, man.
Let's go to Aaron
I want to go in
Demers.
the woods with a sniper rifle and Mark
Appreciate
Wahlberg
it,
this
Aaron.
thing for 4 years.
It says, just takes time up front. We get slapped around by Kentucky since Stoop got together in the SEC in the trenches. It's just different, but Louisville will get there.
Yeah, look, Braum was a great hire. I think Braum's going to do well at Louisville. And y'all kind of ducked the smoke from a schedule standpoint, which is not out of y'all's control. It's good. As a coach, I'd love to have an easier schedule. It sounds great. All right, one more and we get to bets.
Patrick Rye wants to know, will we ever see Dabo Sweeney coaching in the SEC?
He's not going to Bama.
And it's
he's
Bama.
not.
Gonna go.
He's not.
Go to the alma mater.
No, he's not going to
won
Bama.
a championship.
I would be, I guess you never say never, right? But I would just be shocked because he can do it his way at Clemson. What, you think you're going to go to Bama and not use the transfer portal? You think that's going to work out? You're going to do it that way? It's not going to work. Not going to work.
See.
All right, bets. Let's just, please, God, get to Saturday. Ravens, money line. They've won like 3,000 preseason games in a row. Why would I not pick them? It's a minus 130. And then I'm going to take the under. All right, Washington, Baltimore. Sounds like an old Revolutionary War battle. They're under 37.5, minus 110. What do you got, David?
Mariners are on a tear right now. I'm going to take Mariners minus
Mariners.
1.5. Excuse me?
The Terraners?
Yes.
Mariners on a tear.
Mariners.
Minus 1.5 at minus 115. And then the Phillies money line minus 165. Aaron Nola on the mound.
Ooh, I like that.
Love it. This weekend sucks. I'm going to be honest, but we're going to bounce back. Give me the White Sox at home, plus 1.5, plus 100.
Who's
Take
pitching?
the White Sox. Tukey
Lori
Tucson.
Lightfoot?
Oh, Tukey's on the mound.
Oh,
pitching.
now I get it.
Yeah.
Remember, he was at the Braves. He's like, here, hit
They're
it.
playing the Mariners, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, so we're betamies today.
Ooh, Ben.
Yeah, we are.
They
All right,
call
they
him
give me the
Eric.
D-backs at home, plus 1.5. It's going off at a minus 125. Can I
Baby, yeah.
win a month?
Baby Cone, he's bet buds with me at the Ravens money line at minus 130. Then he's going to take the Reds money line, plus 100. Let's get back to the Butcher Club.
Go to Kevin T. He says, no backlash for the ACC prediction because the ACC is mid.
I mean, Florida State and Clemson, I mean, I think you got two legitimate playoff teams. I don't think North Carolina's good enough to make the playoff. I think they're good enough to go 10-2. I mean, I got them winning their first 10 games.
I know.
Like, again, we can just go through it.
Losing the last two.
I mean, but I don't think it's crazy, David, to say that. I don't think it's crazy at all. I mean, look, I'm just going through it right now. I mean, if I could find it, I'm going to find it one day. South Carolina, App State, Minnesota, Pitt, Syracuse, Miami at home, Virginia at home, at Georgia Tech, FCS team, Duke at home. Then at Clemson and at NC State. Boy, that's going to be heartbreaking when they lose to Brendan Armstrong and NC State when they're 10-1.
Let's go to Crain 0724. Says so.
Cuz?
Might be. What about the Mariners? Rangers lost 4 and the Mariners won 6. They swept the Astros and only 3 game back of the
6
Rangers.
in a row, man.
You know the worst part? The worst part about all this, I put in a bet before the year of who was going to win each division, like a big bet. I had the Rays, who are only 3 games back. I had Cleveland, who's now 6 games back. I had the Rangers winning the West, the Braves winning the NL East, I had the Dodgers winning the West, the NL West, and then I had the Cardinals winning the NL Central. The Cardinals got no chance.
Yeah. Well, I thought you had the Astros in the Central.
I think I'd look. Well, on my bet, on my show ones when we picked them before, I think I picked the Astros, but I did a bet on DraftKings where I picked the Rangers to win.
Like a parlay? You parlay?
Yeah, I parlayed all the divisions because DeGrom. And then he got hurt, but they're still going to win it.
All right, let's go to Chief Wahoo. Says Yankees under 500 this late in the season, the first time since the mid to late 90s. I think 1996, and I believe 96 we won the World Series. I think that's right.
Yeah.
It's terrible right now. It's disgusting. I mean, to be honest, but
It's tough.
Hey,
I hate it for you, man.
hashtag y'all deserve it. So you know what it is. All right, let's go to Carson Everett. Says, what do y'all think? He says, who do y'all think chat-wise would y'all watch first? Women's basketball, women's soccer, or women's volleyball?
Women's volleyball.
Volleyball.
Easy.
Women's volleyball.
That's the easiest question I've ever had in my life.
All right, let's get to the poll.
Paul.
Who wins the ACC? Clemson,
Okay.
Florida State, North Carolina, or other?
Oh, you had to put an other in there, huh?
I like that. David, what do you got, dog?
All right. Other and North Carolina probably combined for, let's just say 20%. 20%, that leaves 80%. Give me Clemson. I'll say they said Clemson at 46%.
I like Clemson 47%. I'm with you.
Other, 10%.
Okay, we're on track.
North Carolina, 6%.
Yeah.
Clemson, 42%.
Wow.
And
Florida State, 42.
Wow, a tie at the top. I want chaos in the ACC. They do too.
When's the have we ever had a tie before?
I think that's the first tie ever in the poll.
That's insane.
Wow.
And that's so ironic. That may what it come down to. Tiebreakers in the ACC.
Oh. All right, let us know. Let us know. Go ahead.
Real quick, Jimbo Eagle, $5 donation says, not surprised that my boys from Crain & Co. don't believe in my boys from Syracuse.
I had them go 6
going
and 6.
bowling.
All good, though. It's the chip on our shoulder we need. Hashtag Cuse mode. 4-8. 4-8.
All right, let us know. Who do you think is going to win the we did the poll, but in the chat, in the comments on Twitter, let us know. Who do you think is going to win the ACC? We're going to put our predictions out on our individual accounts on social. I'm sure our Crain & Company account will tweet out who got it right. We appreciate you guys. Got the Big 12 tomorrow. Going to sit down and put the science and math together on that one. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribed on YouTube. Check us out at Daily Wire Plus, and make sure you're following us on all social media handles. And like the chances of Virginia being any good, sorry, Tony Elliott, we're going. God.